Y'all know Elder Scrolls, right? Uh, you all know Skyrim, which is the Elder Scrolls, right? Well, for several years now, I've been a fan of the Elder Scrolls. I started with Skyrim, went to Oblivion, went to Morrowind, and then, yeah, went to Daggerfall. I'd like to think I'm a non-biased judge on how these games aged, since I have no nostalgia for any of them, and I didn't really play games like them when I was younger. So, as a non-biased judge, what do I think of Daggerfall? Do I like it? Well, it's a bit complicated. First off, the game is actually huge, with one of the largest game maps to date. Yeah, to date. That's pretty impressive for a game of this age. There's so many things to do in this game too, which really helps this game. You can join a guild, go dungeon crawling, go shopping for a house, go shopping for horses and carts. You can buy boats, and you can just do so much. The game is so big, you'll never have nothing to do. All the quests are randomly generated, so each quest is a bit different. Its vastness is one of the game's biggest strengths. It's amazing that it's this big. The map is around 160,000 square kilometers with around 15,000 towns. Wow. You can't tell me that isn't massive. Just because it's massive doesn't mean everything in it is interesting. Actually, pretty much all of it, dungeons included, is randomly generated. While this is cool, it actually causes some problems. First off, it makes for a pretty boring 160,000 square kilometers. There is very, very little per kilometer. Most of this map will probably be unexplored by a casual player, as it's much better just to fast travel around. For the combat, there isn't much to say. I believe it's role-based, which basically means that you have a chance to hit based on your skills. The combat is really similar to Morrowind, which means I have no complaints for it. Sometimes, this random generation is actually a really big problem. You know the joke about Bethesda making buggy games? If this joke didn't start with this game, I'd be really shocked. This random generation messes up several quests and causes game-breaking bugs. It also makes the dungeons really frustrating. The fact that they are randomly generated makes it so you don't even know if the enemy you're supposed to kill actually spawned in it. Even if it did spawn, you don't even know if there's a real way to get to it without cheating. You can spend hours in a single dungeon looking for one enemy for a stupid quest. In fact, I once, in pure denial of failure, took advantage of a bunch of glitches to try and find this one stupid enemy for the Dark Brotherhood quest. I did end up finding it, but I shouldn't have to break the game just to finish a quest. In addition, the map is one of the most unhelpful maps in any game I've ever seen. And it's not even like you can look up most of the dungeons and how to get through them, since it's all mostly randomly generated. I've never really been one to look up walkthroughs of dungeons in games like this, though I have looked up locations and stuff, especially more when they give real vague directions. But even that was really rare. Dungeons are generally my least favorite part of the game. In fact, my favorite guild is actually the Thieves Guild. Can you guess why? Because most of the quests are in dungeons. Luckily for me, most of the game is dungeon crawling. This is probably the reason I've spent many hours playing this game, but I've always stopped after a certain time. This game did a lot for the Elder Scrolls and for gaming. It was pretty innovative for its time. It has a lot of good in it. I still love it for those reasons, but I also hate it because it can be a huge slog to play through. Well, that was my slightly complicated relationship with Daggerfall. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.